Hi, I'm here with Daan Gerits. Daan, thank you for joining me. Can you tell us something about Dassault, where you work as Big Data Technical Lead?
Yeah, so we are a consultancy firm stationed in Contig, and basically we do big data implementations, which means that we guide or enable people or enable companies to work with big data, because a lot of companies, especially in Belgium, don't really have a specific case that they can work on, and they don't know how to approach this new way of thinking. And that's where we step in. That's where we try to guide and help people out. And we do that through a lot of things. I mean, workshops, we do prototypes, we do even just delivering power to actually accomplish a project.
Now, Dassault is part of the Kronos group. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of being in such a large technology group?
Yeah, the Kronos group is often criticized of being, well, highly fragmented and stuff like that, but the ideas behind it are really solid. I mean, if you have an idea as an individual and you think you can do something with that idea, you get the chance to try things out. And that's something that I really like about the Kronos group. The second thing is that because there are that many different companies inside the group itself, allows you to go to a customer, talk to them about, basically we don't have those skills that you require available, but we can have a look at the other groups or the other companies inside the group, and maybe we can find some skills over there. So that really enables you to deliver a total package instead of just one specific skill or skill set.
What is the biggest misconception about big data?
Basically, the notion of volume. Because when you go to, I personally think that big data is the worst name that could have been chosen for something like this, because it gives the impression that it's all about storage and all about the volume of the data. And that's not totally true, especially not in Belgium, because we are a rather small company, we're a rather small country, but with small businesses as well. And they're not necessarily having that volume of data. They do, however, have the variety of data, the different data formats, video, imagery, things like that. And especially now that a company isn't centered around its own databases and data sources anymore, but is also start looking outside the boundaries of the company itself, it totally gives a different view on the size and the variety of the data that people have to work with today.
What's the typical kind of big data consultancy that people ask you at Dassault?
Usually the people we go to, we come in and say, do you have heard about big data, stuff like that? And they say, we have heard about it, but tell us what we can do with it. And it's very difficult to give an answer to that. So what we do then is propose to do a workshop, to materialize, to crystallize the ideas, and basically to crystallize a proof of concept. And that would be the next step then. So we go from a workshop where we discuss things, where we, basically we don't say anything, we just guide the process, but it's like brainstorming sessions to actually crystallize an idea, then take that idea to proof of concept, take the proof of concept to an actual project. And that's the way that we work right now, and it seems to be the way that's working really well.
Nowadays, a lot of people talk about Hadoop. What can you share about it?
Yeah, Hadoop seems to be when you talk about big data, a lot of people by default talk about Hadoop, which is not necessarily the case. So Hadoop is really cool technology, nothing for that, but it's not the only technology that you can use. I mean, there are different technologies, even technologies within the NoSQL space that share properties of a big data system. So Hadoop is quite cool. It has quite a steep learning curve, but there are other players on the block, and it's worth to look around.
Which database do you prefer? Cassandra, HBase, MongoDB? Now, before you say it depends, I want to know, what does it depend on?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of data you're actually processing. If your model is highly structured, then you probably want to look at a more structured data store. If your data is about imagery, is about video feeds, things like that, and you have to analyze those, you're probably looking at document databases, or you're probably even looking at something like age-based key value stores. So indeed, it depends on which case you're actually implementing. But to be honest, when you see all the technologies that are in the big data landscape today, it's quite overwhelming. So it's very hard for a big data architect to choose which ones will be available in the next few years, because some of them will disappear. So I started choosing technologies based on their characteristics and not necessarily on their name or their popularity.
What is the single most exciting thing that you're working on right now?
Well, as for Dazzles, we are doing a lot of stuff that I really can't talk about that much, but we are doing a very cool project, Women Are Together, who's also another speaker, called Big Boards, where we want to present a personal big data cluster. So basically to enable people to learn about big data technology, because that's the thing that we notice right now, is that it became very, very hard to find people who can actually master these skills. So yeah, people need to start and play with it, and the only way, we are convinced that the only way of doing that is by having a device which is a cluster and which can eliminate a lot of the hurdles that you have to take.
Tell me, how do you like Daan Data so far?
It's pretty amazing. It's the first time that I have to present for such a large group. It gives you some stress, but apart from that, it's really amazing. Nice venue, nice people, cool ideas, really. I hope it will be here again next time.
Daan, great to talk to you. Thanks for joining me here. I'll let you get back to Daan Data. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.